Justice with Judge Maybelline will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law. Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You're going to help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Maybelline.
In the matter of Stephen Hunt versus Henry Foster, I am advised that you are the stepfather and stepson, and you're suing him for damages to an automobile and a guest home in the amount of $2,667. So tell me about this dispute.
Yes, Your Honor. After Stephen graduated college, my wife and I invited him to live in our guest house rent-free as he transitioned to adulthood. I had one requirement during this time that he was a part of our household, was just to do basic chores, cleaning the pool, weeding, mowing the lawn, and that would be been enough for me. But he didn't choose, it was a lesson in responsibility, but he didn't choose that. He chose entitlement, and his entitlement was just too much for me over time. It culminated in over $2,000 of repairs to my wife's car, the destruction of the carpet in the guest house.
Right away, Stephen frames this case as a lesson in adulthood, and that is important because he is not just asking for money. He is asking the court to validate his version of responsibility. He says Henry was given a rent-free guest house, and in exchange, he only had to help around the property. But listen carefully. Once chores become the exchange for housing, this stops sounding like a casual family favor and starts sounding like a tenancy arrangement that matters legally. A person does not always have to pay cash rent to gain tenant-like protections. Labor can function as consideration. So the big question for viewers is this: was Stephen helping his stepson, or was he effectively renting him a guest house in exchange for unpaid labor? That distinction is going to shape almost everything Judge Maybelline does next.
In the guest house. And am I here today, as an adult, there's financial responsibility when you break something.
How did he destroy the carpet in the guest house?
Well, he has a girlfriend that visits him often, and she has a very rude dog that is misbehaved, that yaps, that leaves fecal matter all over my lawn, and is inside chewing up the carpet.
Okay. And how long did this take place?
It's for the past 11 months.
Oh, for 11 months he's been living there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And what about the car? How did the car damage take place?
There's a car that is parked in the garage. Our garage is relatively small. It's very close confines. We all know this, but he admitted that he ran into a cement wall. He claims that it was...
He ran into a cement wall in the garage?
Yes. He backed into the cement wall.
Oh, okay.
And
Your Honor,
then-
it's not his car.
I heard you. It's his wife's car and
Yes,
your
Your
mother's
Honor.
car
Yes, Your Honor.
that you were driving.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the fact that it doesn't belong to him, is you saying that he doesn't have a right to make a claim about it because it's not his car, or that you didn't damage it?
Well, I think
or
the
because
dispute
it's your
should be
mother's
settled.
car, you can damage it and you don't have any consequences.
Well, Your Honor,
what
I
you're
think
saying.
the dispute should be settled between me and my mother if it's about her car.
Okay, so your position is that you damaged the car, you're not denying it,
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
but it's your mother's car,
Yes, Your Honor.
not his car.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
therefore, if anybody was going to sue you for that, should be your mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why is he distinguishing that it's his mother's car, not yours? You didn't help her buy that car, is that it?
She did already own the car, but we have been married for 2 years.
Oh, so you're the new stepfather.
I am coming in as the new stepfather, yes.
Whose home is it?
This is my home, and she moved in with me,
Okay,
and he then came shortly after.
okay. He was away at college when you got married. So he was living on the college campus.
Yes.
And now you're out of college and you're at home with your mother and stepfather.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm taking some time to figure out what I'm going to do after.
And I take it that you're not too happy about the situation.
This is where the emotional case and the legal case collide. Henry is clearly carrying resentment about the stepfather dynamic, and Stephen is clearly trying to establish authority in a household that changed while Henry was away at college. That is not just background drama. It explains why every chore, every inspection, and every repair bill feels personal. But Judge Maybelline is not interested in who feels disrespected. She wants the agreement. What exactly did Henry agree to? What was written down? What was vague? This is a lesson for anyone watching. If you create a housing arrangement, especially with family, do not rely on assumptions like basic chores or keep it tidy. Those phrases sound harmless until a judge has to interpret them. Then suddenly, vague language becomes a legal
Not
problem.
too happy about the situation.
Definitely not, Your Honor.
You don't care too much for your stepfather.
I feel as though he's disrespected me in a lot of ways, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Well, I feel like respect is a two-way street, and there was a text agreement about no rent being paid and chores having to be done. I have the evidence for that here, if you'd like to see that.
No rent and chores, okay?
Which were done. I went above and beyond with the amount of work that I did. Yard work was even done. There used to be somebody that was paid to do the yard work. I painted the guest house exterior. I power washed the front. I was woken up at 6 a.m. a lot of the time just to do work on the house, and I happily did it. I feel as though the debt's been paid, Your Honor.
But you did it, but you didn't happily do it. You don't
That
even have to
text
put that word.
message is doing a lot of work in this case. It says no rent, chores is needed, and the guest house should be kept tidy. But notice what it does not say. It does not list specific chores, it does not define how often they must be done, it does not mention pool maintenance, it does not mention replacing paid workers, and it does not create a clear inspection standard. That is a problem for Stephen. The more Henry describes the arrangement, the less this sounds like helping out around the house, and the more it sounds like he became the gardener, the pool guy, and the property helper in exchange for housing. Viewers, be honest. If you were doing weekly yard work, pool work, painting, and power washing, would you still call that rent-free? Or would you call that rent paid in
But
labor?
you didn't happily do it. You don't even have to put that word in there. Just say I did it.
Right, but I'm
Because
not
I know you
obligated
didn't
to
enjoy
happily
doing
do
all
it.
that power washing and painting and yard work and all of that.
Well, it can be therapeutic sometimes.
It can be, but did you have to do that before your mother married Mr. Hunt?
Well, I always had to do various chores around the house, but I think he saw it as I'm a little older now, so he put a bit of more of a load on me.
What was the agreement? Let me see it, or you can tell it to me, and if it's not disputed, we're okay with that. So when you came back from college, your mom was married, had moved into your stepfather's home. You had not lived there before, so you moved into the guest house, right?
Correct.
I take it it's in the back of the house,
Correct, yes.
separated from the house.
Yes.
And let me see what this agreement is you want to tell me about. I want to lay out expectations so our wires aren't crossed. You will not be expected to pay rent, but you will be expected to contribute in other ways. Mainly, that will be household chores, as needed. You're an adult, we will treat you as such, but I'm expecting the guest house to be kept tidy. Please text an affirmative so I know you understand these conditions. And your response was, I understand, thank you, Steve. Or when was it decided what chores?
I don't think there was ever a formal agreement made what the chores would be. It was more just whatever Steve says is what goes, and I was told to do certain things at certain times of day, and it was expected to be done, and I did those things.
Okay, so you say you took over the yard work from the gardener.
Yes, yes,
And
Your
the gardener, I suspect, came weekly?
Yes, they were a weekly.
So then that became your chore weekly?
Yes, it
Is
became
it
my
front
duty.
and backyard?
Front and backyard, because
had
the
to
guest
mow the
house is
lawn?
in the back. Yes, Your Honor.
You became the gardener.
Essentially, Your Honor, yes.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Maybelline.
When you say total disarray, describe it.
Clothing everywhere, food left out, piles of trash coming out of the garbage can. It's a mess.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline. We're back with the case of Stephen Hunt, who is suing his stepson, Henry Foster, for property damage.
And then the other ones clean the pool?
Yes, Your Honor.
How
Spotless.
does he maintain the pool? He doesn't know anything about maintaining a pool. You put that on him. He doesn't know about chemicals and how to mix those chemicals in the pool and all
We
of
gave
that.
him a brief little walkthrough on how to do all the chores so he could be successful at the chores.
So you gave him a walkthrough.
Yes.
Okay, so you fired the pool man too?
Well, he is the pool man too.
No, did you have a pool
We
person?
also had a pool man, yes. And
But he
we let
became
him
that
go,
person
too.
as well.
Yes, because this now is the pool man, the groundskeeper who's living rent-free in the guest house.
Okay, what else did he have to do?
He has to weed, he has to mow.
Well, weed and mowing is all part of gardening, in my opinion.
He has to tidy up after himself, which he Hasn't been the
Tidy up after himself, mean keeping the
guest house.
the guest house clean
Yes.
and making the bed and mopping the floors and keeping the bathroom clean. That's what you're talking about when you say tidy up behind himself?
Basic tidying up.
Okay, so you went out to the guest house to check on it and see if he had made up his bed and cleaned up everything and washed the dishes and done his, you did that?
I don't enter the place when he's not home, but I have visited him, the guest house, while he's there. And then I have seen through the windows in total disarray.
Okay, when you say total disarray, describe it.
Clothing everywhere, food left out, piles of trash coming out of the garbage can. It's a mess.
Is he right?
Your Honor, it's my living space. I'm not doing damage to the property. He doesn't have a right to inspect my room, my bathroom. As long as I'm not damaging his property, he has absolutely no right to be talking about my living conditions or...
Who told you that?
Well, I just believe that's my right as a tenant.
As a tenant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your right as a tenant is to live comfortably in your space, and your right as a tenant is he cannot go in and out. And your right as a tenant is, he's saying it. If he wants to keep a dirty house, he can keep a dirty house. A dirty house to you may be a clean house to him. If he doesn't want to pick his clothes up, he doesn't have to pick his clothes up. If he doesn't want to hang his clothes up, he doesn't have to hang his clothes up. If he doesn't want to wash dishes every night, he doesn't have to wash dishes every night. That's the way you live. But you gave him the guest house to live in, and as living in that, he can do that. And he is a tenant. He's not paying dollars as a tenant, but he's paying chores in exchange for his tenancy. So you have to respect his tenancy rights in terms of the way he lives. He can't destroy the property, and you're not supposed to be peeking in.
Look, we have...
And there it is. The $2,000 car claim collapses. Not because Henry is innocent. In fact, he already admitted he damaged the car. The claim collapses because Stephen is not the right plaintiff for that property. Judge Maybelline focuses on title and authority. The car belonged to Henry's mother before the marriage, so Stephen cannot simply absorb the repair bill and then walk into court as if the car legally belongs to him. Marriage does not automatically transform every pre-owned item into community property, and the judge is not going to skip that step just because the family finances are intertwined. This is a painful courtroom lesson. Doing the morally responsible thing by paying the repair bill does not automatically give you the legal right to recover it in your own name.
We have standards at the house. His mom would agree to this. Tidying up after himself was a part of the verbal agreement
You didn't tell me that.
that we had
You didn't tell me that.
before he moved in.
You didn't say that. The agreement that in exchange for you moving in, you will be staying in our guest house. There's nothing that says tidy up. You say, I expect it to be kept tidy. Tidy differs from person to person. What you perceive as tidy may not be what I perceive as tidy. And when you live in a space that you're paying rent for, under the law, you have a right to live in a manner that's less than tidy if you so choose. You don't get to decide what's tidy.
But this is not your typical tenant situation.
No, it's not a question of typical tenancy. It's a question of tenancy. There's no such thing as typical. Yes, you're the guest, it's the guest house and you own the house, but you're renting it to him. And in exchange for him living there, instead of paying dollars for rent, he has to do certain things around the property.
Yes, and he's
it's no
made
more
agreements.
than if you had hired your live-in maid and the maid lives in that house but has other chores for you. You can't go inside that house and tell the maid or the housekeeper or the groundskeeper if one of them was living in the property, how they lived inside. That's all I'm telling you.
But
You
that is
wanted
not-
it to be different, but
The level of tidiness is not why I'm here today.
okay, I'm sure it isn't. So now what about the damage to the mother's car? He's right about that. You can't sue for damages to her car. That's her car.
I paid out of pocket to fix those damages.
That's between you and her.
Yes, and we have agreed
She's not here.
that
She's not here.
we are married and
You're
all
married.
of the finances I take care
Community
of.
property, but that's not community property. She owned that property before she married you. That's why I asked the question. That's not community property.
Yes, but
And so it's okay for her and that you pay for it and that's you all agreement. But since she's the one who holds title to that property and she's not here, and I don't see a written statement for her saying that you're suing on her behalf, I can't order him to repay you for repairing the property damage caused to her car. How much was that?
It was $2,000.
Oh, that's the property damage to her
Yes.
car.
Yes.
Okay. No, I can't order him to repay that. And you've now moved out, right?
Yes, Your Honor, I left.
Now, the carpeting, yes. What's the damage in terms of the carpeting?
The carpet estimate repair was $600.
Okay, now, back to my right to live like I want to. You can't tear up his property. You can't destroy it. You can't tear up the carpeting with the dog or anything else. So if you destroyed the carpeting and it cost $600 to replace it or to repair it once you moved out, he's entitled to that.
Coming up,
He has no evidence that the dog ever made those marks, but the dog was there and did stay at the house multiple times. So the dog could have possibly made some of those marks.
you're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline. We're back with the
That
case
line,
of Steve.
unforeseen consequences, is the whole case in 2 words. Stephen wanted the benefits of a tenant arrangement without the burdens of being a landlord. He wanted Henry to perform chores like rent, but he also wanted to treat the guest house like part of his private household. Judge Maybelline is making it clear, you cannot have it both ways. If you want to charge someone, control obligations, and claim property damages like a landlord, then you must also respect the protections that come with tenancy. That includes privacy, proof, and documentation. This is why family housing arrangements can become so dangerous when expectations are vague. Everybody thinks they understand the deal until someone feels exploited, disrespected, or financially wronged. Then the court has to clean up what the family refused to define.
We're back with the case of Stephen Hunt, who is suing his stepson, Henry Foster, for property damage.
The carpet was already worn and damaged before I moved in.
Show
and
me the
he had
pictures.
already made references.
Show me that it was worn and
He had
damaged before
already
you moved
made
in.
references to me repairing the carpet before any of the damage that he alleged had even been done. That was going to be one of my jobs.
Well, that's not what I see here on the paper that you presented to me. It says nothing about repairing the carpeting. It says nothing about cleaning up the carpeting. If there's carpeting in the place when you moved in and now it's torn, I think we have a picture of it, damaged. And did your girlfriend have a dog?
My girlfriend did have a dog.
And did her dog chew up and make those?
He has no evidence that the dog ever made those marks, but the dog was there and did stay at the house multiple times. So the dog could have possibly made some of those marks.
Where's your evidence of the manner in which the carpeting was when he moved in?
I do not have those photos, but I will say that it is a homeowner and not a house guest that decides when renovations.
No. As
happen.
the homeowner, you can decide when renovations take place, but as the homeowner, you can't decide.
Judge Maybelline's ruling is clear. Judgment for the defendant. Stephen loses the car claim because the vehicle belonged to Henry's mother, and she was not present or legally represented in the claim. He also loses the carpet claim because he failed to provide before and after proof showing that Henry, or Henry's girlfriend's dog, caused damage beyond normal wear and tear during the tenancy. The broader lesson is sharp. If you create a housing arrangement, even with family, document it like a real rental. Define the chores, define the standards, take move-in photos, and understand that labor exchanged for housing can create tenant rights. This case was not decided on who seemed more responsible. It was decided on standing, ownership, evidence, and proof. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
You can't decide when to charge the guest with the cost of the renovations. You have to establish that the guest in this place, in this instance, tenant, caused the damage to the property that was above normal wear and tear. And the only way I can establish that he caused the damage above normal wear and tear is that you can show me some before and after.
I don't have the before.
You don't have any befores?
No.
Usually the tenant, when you start a tenancy, the person moves in, you look at the carpeting and all of this, whatever you're providing, they have to sign a piece of paper that said, I agree with the condition of the house, and this is the condition of the house when I moved in. So you can charge them when the condition of the house after they leave is different than what it was when they moved in.
Yes.
Coming up,
You said these were his chores. So now he's a tenant and entitled to all the same benefits of a tenant.
Yes, and there are some unforeseen consequences.
You're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline. We're back with the case of Stephen Hunt, who is suing his stepson, Henry Foster, for property damage.
As a homeowner, that's what you have to do if you're going to rent property out. I know you didn't call this a rental. You call this helping out her son. But you're trying to charge him as a tenant. So I have to apply tenancy law. And tenancy law is if you want to claim reimbursement for damages done to the property, I have to see a before and after damage to know that it was caused during his tenancy. You got me?
I hear you, yeah.
See, you went into this as I'm helping my wife's son, but then you created it and you made it a tenant agreement because in exchange for rent, you said these were his chores. So now he's a tenant and entitled to all the same benefits of a tenant.
Yes, and there are some unforeseen consequences. Having him as a tenant
Yeah.
and having him
As there are unforeseen consequences for any tenant.
take responsibility for this damage that he's responsible for.
I can't make him take responsibility for it. Maybe between you and his mother you can, but as a judge I can't because you haven't established that he caused the damage.
Which I didn't, Your Honor.
Well, we have evidence,
I have
photographs
a
of the
photograph
dog
that says there's
chewed
damage
up
to the carpet.
Yes.
Who do I know? How do I know who caused the damage to the carpet?
That chewed up carpet was not chewed up before.
How do I know that?
You don't.
Right. How do I know it wasn't chewed up when he moved in? How do I know what condition the carpeting was in when he moves in? You want to tell me? You want to be honest? Are you going to admit that your girlfriend's dog or that you or the carpeting became in that manner after you moved in?
Judge Maybelline's verdict when Justice with Judge Maybelline returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline.
The truth is, Steve would rather throw the blame on me because he sees me as irresponsible and in some ways he doesn't respect me. So it's easier for him to say that I caused that damage than to simply repair it himself and take the fee on himself.
That's what I expected you to say.
Well,
I
it's the
didn't
truth,
think
Your
you'd
Honor.
take responsibility. You admitted that she had a dog. You admitted the dog came over, and dogs do that kind of stuff. But the only reason I'm not charging you with it is because he can't prove, that what condition it was in before. I'm sorry. I kind of, my gut feeling says that he probably caused it or the dog, but I can't charge him with things based on my gut feeling. It's called evidence and proof. All right?
All right.
So, judgment for the defendant.
All rise.
Judge Maybelline has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
Stephen, I think respect is a two-way street.
I think moving forward, it would be great if we could move to a better place, but you have to be responsible for your actions.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.